Hello, first graders. It's Miss Jen. It is Monday, March 23rd. I will be teaching about math today. So, last time I saw you, we looked at penguins. We learned about story problems with, um, huddles. They were huddling. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to do story problems with the numbers 9 and 10. And we're going to be looking at what penguins eat. So, my question for you today is, what do you think penguins eat? No, I don't think they eat bananas. I don't think that penguins eat tacos. No, I don't think penguins eat tacos. I know definitely the penguins eat fish. And I learned something really interesting today. I learned that penguins could eat up to 20 fish in 1 hour. Can you imagine eating 20 fish in 1 hour? Because I can't. My tummy would hurt. So, today what we're going to do is we're going to do some story problems, and if you have a whiteboard and a marker, you can follow along that way. If you don't have one, you can always use paper, pen, paper, crayon, paper, pen, yeah. So, one morning there was a penguin, and her name is Penelope. And Penelope wakes up and she has 10 fish for breakfast, and she has 3 fish for lunch. So she had 10 for breakfast and 3 for lunch. So how many fish did Penelope eat? Let's write our equation on our board or on a paper, and then when you're ready, show me. Awesome job. All right, and then let's solve it. And when you're ready, you can always show me. And you know, if I'm going too fast, you know you can always pause it. You can always go back. But right now, what I'm going to ask you is, how am I going to show this equation on my number rack? So I have my number rack here, and what I want to do is make my number rack match my equation, which is 10 plus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move 10 because I see 10 on the top, and I'm going to put 3 on the bottom because I see 3 on the bottom. Okay. Now let's clear our boards, and we're going to write our next equation. So the next morning, Penelope, she wakes up, and she's also a first grader, and she goes to, before she goes to school, she has 10 fish for breakfast, and then she is still hungry, so at first recess, she goes to MUR, and she asks Miss Cindy for a snack, and Miss Cindy gives her 6 fish. How many fish did Miss Penelope eat altogether? So she started with 10, and then she ate 6 more at recess. How many altogether? Let's write your equation and show me. Okay, and then let's solve it. I see a lot of good thinking over there. Okay, so I got 10 plus 6 equals 16. Okay. Don't erase this one because we're going to need this one soon. So, next day, a different penguin, his name is Percy, and Percy, he only has 9 fish for breakfast. But he's also hungry at recess, and he goes to the MUR, and he asks Miss Cindy for a snack. And he gets 6 fish from Miss Cindy. So once again, Percy eats 9 in the morning and 6 at recess. How many fish did Percy eat altogether? So let's write our equation on our boards. And if you wrote 9 plus 6, awesome job. And then let's solve it. And show me. Nice job. So 9 plus 6 is 15. Now let me ask you this question. What do you notice about these two equations? That's an interesting observation. I heard somebody say, oh, Miss Chad, I noticed that both of them are adding by 6. I noticed that both of them have the plus sign, which means they're adding. I also heard somebody say that, Miss Chad, these numbers on the top are different, and the numbers on the bottom are different. How are they different? I heard somebody shout all the way over here into my house, and I heard you, that 9 is 1 less than 10, and 15 is 1 less than 16. Very interesting. So how would I show this on my number rack? Okay. So remember that the first story was Penelope, and we did 10 plus 6. We did 10 plus 6. Now how can we change this number rack so it shows 9 plus 6? I heard some people say that, oh, Miss Chad, we can just take away this part, and then it becomes 9 plus 6. But what happens if I wanted to, what happens if I wanted to keep this 10? How do I do that? Because if I keep this 10, it's still 16. So what can I do? Because I want to keep this 10 on the top. What do I need to do here? So it'll become 10 plus 5. Is 10 plus 5 the same as 9 plus 6? It is 15. That is true. So that is a strategy that we can use. Instead of doing 9 plus 6, we can always use the strategy of changing the 6 into 10. All right. Let's practice that with another story problem. So, this story's about Penelope still. And Penelope wakes up one morning and she decides to have 9 fish for breakfast. And then she likes to have 2 more for lunch. Let's write our equation and show me. And then solve it. Good job. Now, if I was going to show this equation on the number rack, instead of pushing 9 on the top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push 10. And then I'm going to push 1 more over. And I'm going to explain that why. Because the strategy we're looking at today is looking for friendly numbers. And I know 1 more from 9 is 10. So that's 1. And then this is 2. And that's 11. All right, we're going to practice 1 more. And this story is about Percy. And Percy wakes up one morning and he eats 9 fish in the morning. And then he eats 4 at first recess snack. and show me on your whiteboards. And let's go ahead and solve the equation. Nice job. Okay. Now, using the strategy we just talked about where I have, instead of 9 on the top, I want to have 10 on top. How would that look like? What would that look like? How would you show it on your number rack? Okay. So I'm hearing we're going to do 10. And remember, this is the extra bead. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And that equals same thing as 10 plus 3 is the same as 9 plus 4. Right, so that is the end of today's math lesson. If you have not gone ahead and done this page, you should go ahead and do it today. This one looks really familiar. All you're doing is adding the mystery number to make 10. So for example, 7 plus mystery number equals 10. And then here, all you're doing is solving these equations. Here you're writing the mystery number that makes sense. So 10 plus something equals 14. You're going to write the mystery number here. And then there's a story problem at the bottom. And it says, there were 7 penguins on the ice. Some more penguins joined them. And then there were 13 penguins in the huddle. How many penguins joined the huddle? Write an equation and show. So like last time I taught you, we're going to highlight the numbers because that tells me something is important. So I'm going to highlight the number 7. We're going to highlight the number 13. And then I'm going to highlight the some more because that tells me there's a mystery number. And then I'm going to highlight the question. How many more penguins joined in the huddle? So you're going to write an equation and solve the equation. So once again, there were 7 on the ice. Some more came, and now there's 13. It's asking you how many more penguins came along. All right. So that is the end of today's math lesson. Remember, if you have any questions, you can always call Ms. Draper or I at our office hours. Otherwise, be safe, be great, always be kind, and listen to your grandparents, grandmothers, moms, dads, brothers, sisters. Help when you can. And I will talk to you and see you on Wednesday for our math lesson.